Welcome to this event. My name is Claus. I'm a Focus Nordic ambassador, and we are here at the lab in Copenhagen. It's an awesome studio. It's Studio 3. They have 9 studios, 8 daylight studios. It's just a totally crazy place, and we have this whole huge setup. This is a Focus Nordic. It's a production for Focus Nordic, and 90% of all these lamps and all this gear is from Focus Nordic. We're streaming out to 5 countries: Denmark, Sweden, and Norway, Finland, and Poland, and we're streaming to 16 channels. So that's pretty cool. Tonight's program is a presentation of the new Weebill 3 from Zhiyun. We have a presentation of the new 5-ray lamp, which is a pretty strong lamp actually. I almost blinded myself there. So, and tonight also we will have some cool guests. Actually, they're standing down here in the corner, and I'll just give a brief presentation about them in a second. We have some inspiration for you guys, tips and tricks, and we also have a cool competition. We are gonna give away a Weebill 3, and you need to stay tuned because you need to listen to specs maybe or something during the production to answer the questions, but I'll get back to that later. So now I'll just ask Nicolai Brix to come up here. Nicolai is also a Focus Nordic ambassador. He's a European Sony ambassador, am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. He's also a visual producer for one of the largest fashion companies in Europe.
Yes.
And he's a pretty cool dude. So.
And small compared to you.
And yeah, very small. Yeah, actually, I'm about 2 meters, and
I'm not.
No, you're not. So yeah. And down here we have Peter Makholm. He's a content producer, he's a YouTuber, and he's actually also a Panasonic Lumix ambassador, yes, if I'm not mistaken. And we're going to get back to that, but Peter creates tutorials, and he has a YouTube channel, and he's a really cool guy. I've seen some of his moves. I would love to just be able to do 10% of what you do, so, but that's going to be later. Peter's going to do some gimbal tricks for us, and give you some tricks for setting up your gimbal, moving with it, and just
some basic gimbal stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I might learn a trick or two. So the main reason we are here is this Weebill 3, and it's a pretty cool gimbal.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I had the chance for working with it a couple of days, and a gimbal is not my main tool. It's just a part in my toolbox. It's just a small thing in my production, but I'm pretty impressed about the size and the way I could just have my normal gimbal camera that is not light, but so I have a good impression of this little tool, to be honest.
And what do you do? Can you just like put a few words to what you're doing in your daily work?
Yeah, I mean, daily work, I shoot fashion. I shoot for one of the biggest brands in Europe or in the world, actually. And we do a lot of image shooting, traveling the world, and gimbal is a part of that. Gimbal work, we shoot a lot of handheld, a lot on tripods, but gimbal is important, and you know, we change locations and travel a lot, so it also have to be quite compact, long battery life, all this.
Light maybe also, because this is only like 1.2 kilos or something.
That's important too. You know, we work all day, so the lighter our tools are, the better in some way, especially in the gimbal. So all in all, it needs to perform when I'm working.
Yeah. And the thing with this is it can actually take heavier lenses and heavier cameras.
Yeah,
than before.
I'm shoot primes normally, and I have this rigged up with my Sony FX3 and a 24mm prime. But I tried with to mount it with 2470 2.8, and
which is actually pretty heavy.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy
and long also.
Yeah, it's not this compact. This is quite compact setup, but the other camera was pretty, and it worked, and I balanced in no time.
But this as I understand, this gimbal is perfect for these size cameras. That could be the Sony Alpha series. This is an FX3, Sony Alpha series also. Could be the Lumix cameras.
Yeah, I think a lot of the smaller mirrorless cameras it will take.
Nikon C and the Fujifilm cameras and stuff. That's the size of cameras you would use on this gimbal.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, like FX6 or something when you get up in bigger cameras. But for this, it's perfect. And for me, I work with FX6 and bigger cameras as handheld or on shoulder, and this type of camera when I work with gimbals. And it's perfect for me. To be honest, when I balanced it first time with this setup, it took me, a minute. It was pretty easy.
That's pretty cool. And you have it rigged with an external monitor?
Yeah, I like to work with an external monitor. I travel a lot, and in the areas where I shoot, it's normally quite sunny.
Yeah, fashion
and I need a really strong, powerful monitor to be able to see, because on smaller cameras, the little monitor here can be a problem. And of course, it adds some weight, but it gives me something. But I have good mounting options and so on it.
So, as I understand, you've shot some video. Is
I
that
shot
correct?
last weekend. I was at a festival, new festival here in Copenhagen, Syd for Solen it's called, where Gimbal was a part of it, and I shot a small film for that.
Okay, so maybe we should watch that. It has an updated algorithm, and that makes it perform even better, and it also has a lot of exciting features.
Yeah, but for me, it's updated algorithm and so on. It's difficult for me to say something about, but I have to say that the operation of it and the little heavier camera here, it works smoothly. And one of the things I was pretty amazed about was the battery life. Yes. I worked all weekend, from Friday to Sunday, and it was not on all the time, but I shot quite a lot with it and didn't need to charge it.
It's supposed to be 21 hours.
Yeah, I can't say if I had it on for 10 hours or 15 hours or how much, but it was like half full when I ended, and for me that's important.
Exactly.
But it's super smooth, and the other cool thing for me is when I'm working with two cameras, my FX6 and this. So I have this in a sling bag, and when I'm gonna change through the new quick release system was working really well. I could just take it off really fast and pack it down. So I have this little plate on the bottom of the camera and put it on here. It's pretty easy to work with. And you know, as on this gig where I was alone, it was just important that the small stuff like that is working.
And what I also notice about this from my experience with gimbals is that the hard thing is if you have to take your camera off, you have to slide. Normally you have to slide out the plate.
Yes.
And when you slide it back in, you never hit the same spot.
Never the same,
but you do that here.
It was not a problem at all. I can take the camera off at night, put it in my bag, and it's just balanced the day after when I started. Another small cool thing, I really scratch sound or natural sound in your edit on the video just watched. There was no, because of rights for the music and so on.
Sure.
But there's actually a built-in a small microphone. And I was like, oh, it's just a gimmick, but I have to say I could hear the difference in the...
To the camera microphone?
Yes,
okay.
There was a clear difference, and when you shoot shots like this where you see audience and talking and having a party and so on, it's good for the edit that you have some sound. You can just give some ambient, some natural sound, and it worked actually pretty well. Yeah. It's a small thing, and it's not like an interview microphone or anything, but I just catch a more clean sound compared to the built-in microphone.
Cool. And what else?
Yeah.
Other features? I can't. You know this. Yeah.
There's two small things you can get as extras on it. There's this slingshot handle. To be honest, I haven't used it, but I have used this one, a wrist, what they call wrist safe or.
Yeah, it's a wrist saver plate, I think.
Yeah, but the basic is you can like take off the weight on it, and for my work it was really good, and I felt it supported.
Okay.
I had to.
So you can adjust it up and down.
Adjust up and down, and I actually think it's a good thing. Even if I go in really low, it
just supports the weight.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clever, but it's a personal thing.
Yeah.
But for me, it worked a lot.
Yeah.
The joysticks are here on the side. It works pretty well. I had to get used to it. You know,
You always have to.
But when I just got the placement, it was really, really good. And yeah, there's light on as well. I can try to turn it on.
There's a fill light on the side here. Yeah.
On the side, on front of the, and you can change the temperature, the kelvins, from
27 to 6,500, I think.
Yeah, I think actually it's 26 to 5,400.
Okay.
I haven't used it in the environment I was shooting in here, but it can be pretty handy.
Could give a little catch light in the eyes.
Maybe a little catch light. Yeah. There's some colored filters with it as well.
Okay.
But that could be interesting to try more.
Cool. And so this gimbal comes in a Weebill 3 package for 559 euros, and a combo package, and this seems to be the combo package with the
with the two extra things, and it's a good price, I have to say. It's not expensive. It's reachable. You can get it for your own. And
exactly. But and if you guys are sitting out there and you want to win one of these, please listen closely. We might even have said it already, but the competition is in the comment field in the channel you're watching. Please enter the weight of the Weebill 3, and then if you hit the right weight in the comment, you actually have a chance to win this gimbal. Not this gimbal, because that's obviously used by Nicolai, but you will get a new gimbal. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. But I think when you shot this video at the festival, you also had some behind the scenes.
Yeah, I shot a little behind the scenes. Maybe we could see it.
Watch it?
Yeah, I think we should see it. Basically, here at first year at the festival, we also had to document how it looked where you could buy your drinks and so on. So I was shooting a little from the booth, drinking booth, and this is quite normal what we're shooting. And it's actually just a small move, not even the full. I would maybe use it from here, and then see her buying it, and then end here. And for that, it works perfect. Yeah, and actually I have, when I work with these two cameras, I have a camera on the side on a strap. So for me, it's, this compact size. Yeah. It's important because I have to really work fast. Yeah. Yeah.
So I think we have some slides. So let's just go through the slides here to just have people see the specs and the information about this new gimbal. So like we already said, it's 1.24 kilos, and that's pretty light for a gimbal.
Yeah, it is.
It is really light.
I have a much bigger one.
Yeah, you're shooting the Crane 3, I think.
Yeah, Crane 3, yes.
Yeah, and that's a heavy.
That's a heavy one, and this is another.
But that also takes your bigger cameras.
Yeah,
and stuff,
it does. Yeah. But this is another story.
Yeah, for another day. So and it has the upgraded motors. Did you notice that?
Yeah, there was no problem holding this, and I took off my ND filter and worked around, and there was like no vibrating anything, and it could keep up the balance, no problem.
And like we said, it's compatible with bigger lenses for like a 24-70 or something, heavier lenses, longer lenses. It has the L-shaped body, so it can actually stand by itself.
Yeah, it can. Now I have a monitor on,
of course,
so if you take the monitor off, you can actually unscrew this, and it can stand here. Yeah, it can actually do it here.
It can actually, even though you have a monitor on. That's pretty cool. Cool. And like we said, the battery capacity 21 hours. It's supposed to run for 21 hours. That's pretty cool. And then the handles and the wrist saver plate.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, that's
down here.
That's pretty cool. And yeah, I really like this because I've had several gimbals, but I always got caught in this balancing thing. So I really like that upgraded plate.
Yeah.
Where you can just click it in and boom, you're up and running.
Exactly.
So that's pretty cool. And it's called a dual quick release plate. So pretty nice. And yeah, we even have a magnetic key in there.
Yeah,
it's
here?
down there somewhere.
Here?
Yeah.
To the plates.
Exactly. Which you're always padding your pockets to.
And it's pretty strong actually.
Okay. So it stays there.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. Let's see. And we were onto the packages. 2 packages. The entry package is 559 euros, and the combo package, which has a lot of extra gear, comes in at 659 euros. So that's a pretty good price. Yeah. So anything else?
No, I'm positive about this. It's a good additional tool in my toolbox. I have to say. And perfect for my size of cameras, this FX3.
Yeah, cool. So again, I want to remind you about the competition. So please go to your channel and answer the question, what is the weight of the Weebill 3? And you have a chance to win this awesome gimbal. So I think, oh, there's a question, I get a question, yeah? Okay, so we're getting asked if this Weebill 3 can spin 360.
The Vortex.
Yeah, I think it's called Vortex mode.
To be honest, I haven't tried it, but I have seen it in the menu.
Yeah.
So it will.
So it will. Okay. So you obviously haven't tried it.
I haven't tried it, but I actually, when I went through the menus, it was there.
Cool.
And if I can add something to the menus, it's pretty straightforward to use them.
Okay.
And
that's all done with a joystick? And
small joystick and the button on the side menu, and then you can just navigate through it and balance, get an auto tune on the motors and so on.
Okay. So that's pretty easy to work with.
Yes.
And you also obviously you have the record button and everything for
Everything you can start
everything.
stuff with the cameras compared.
Cool.
Working with the gimbal.
Yeah. How long did it take you to balance the?
Yeah, but it was the first time on this setup, specific setup. I always use 24 millimeter. I normally do like a minute, 2 minutes.
Minute? Okay.
Yeah, 1-2 minutes. It was straightforward.
Yeah. And so when you travel, because you do that a lot, I'm always amazed to write with you and like, oh, I'm in Cape Town, oh, I'm in wherever. So when you travel, how is it to handle like in the bag and stuff? Do you have any? There's something with the locking mechanisms.
Yeah, I lock it up, and in my camera bag it can be on the front. Okay. I don't have any problem with that.
On the outside.
Out on the outside.
Okay. So I think they're much improved from last.
I just unscrew this little tripod and the monitor, of course, and the waist here, and then put it in the outside. I have a long pouch in my bag, and it actually fits in there.
Cool.
Yeah.
So this was fun. Thanks
you.
for visiting my little discreet setup here in the lab in Copenhagen and awesome videos.
Thank you very much.
Let's catch each other next time you're close to here. So
thank you very much.
Coffee. Thanks.
Thanks.
See you later.
See you.
So just again, please go to the channel and write the weight of the gimbal, of the Weebill 3, because you actually have a chance to win one of these bad boys. So now, Peter, I'm going to come down to your little setup down here.
Yes.
And so please introduce yourself. Just a brief introduction of who you are and what you do.
Yes, my name is Peter, and I'm a YouTube and content creator. I create content mainly about gimbals, and that's why I'm here today. I have something called the Gimbal Academy, where I teach everybody else how to use a gimbal. If this is new to you, or if there's something that doesn't work for you, you can join the academy, and most questions can be asked in there if you have anything about any gimbals.
So you answer the questions, or is it a community-driven thing?
No, it's a pre-made course that you can buy, but you can always get in touch with me through the academy if you have any other questions.
Okay.
But most things are found in there. So yeah, that's mainly what I do.
So I actually think you created some stuff for today. You created a video.
Yes, Focus Nordic asked me if I could take the Weebill 3 out for a day and test it. So I did. I had it the other day, and I found a nice little house that I could shoot. I have been shooting real estate early on in my career, so it was nice to find something that I knew something about.
Yeah.
And I filmed this house, and I used some basic gimbal moves within this video with this.
And I know. Always when we do these live streams, people are really interested in the gear. So please, could you just tell me what are you shooting with?
I'm shooting with the Lumix S5, and as an ambassador for Lumix brand, I only use Lumix cameras. I normally have the S1H, but I think the S1H is a little bit too big on gimbals. I try to keep my gimbals and my gimbal setups as low as possible. So I have the S5 on here, and I have their standard lens, the 20 to 60 millimeters on there.
Okay.
And then I have the Zhiyun handle on the side, and that's kind of it. That's the basic setup. That's what I use all the time, nothing else. I try to keep it as minimal as possible. This thing on the side, that's the transmitter for the live feed. So it's not on there normally.
Okay.
So yeah.
So that's a really compact setup.
I try to keep it as compact as possible, because the more weight you put on it, the more strength you'll put on your back.
Sure.
So that's why I keep it as compact as possible.
For me, it's sort of like, should I go to the gym or should I run some gimbal moves, because it's really heavy and you get some.
You should definitely do both.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Because keeping a good shape is pretty important, because working just with cameras in general is back breaking.
Okay.
So I use a lot of time working on my physique
okay.
to be able to use these gimbals.
Okay. But as we talked about, you have created some content, and maybe we should watch that.
Yes, we can do that.
Just to see what you did. So let's see if we can get that up and running.
Everything is shot on the Weebill 3, and I have adjusted the settings so that they fit accordingly to this specific shoot.
So that's pretty amazing. In the film, you also saw you sitting at the.
Yeah, what I tried
bushes.
to do is to show the movements and then show the clip afterwards.
Okay.
So yeah, that's
Cool.
That's basically what I did.
So, but we're not just here to talk about the gimbals today. So we're here for you to.
Yes, I have been invited to talk and give a couple of tips about how I shoot and what you can do to become a better gimbal operator. And one of the main thing that I see a lot is that people forget to balance their gimbals correctly. So no matter what gimbal you have, always make sure that you balance your gimbal correctly. And then I'll be over there. Sorry, I thought it was that one. So we're mainly on this one. All right. So yes, if you make sure you balance the gimbal correctly and make sure that you have a camera on there before you turn it on. And once you've done that, when you take it out of the box, it comes with some default settings. And the very good thing is to go in and adjust the settings according to what you're going to shoot. When I was filming that house, I want my gimbal to be as smooth as possible. So I actually changed all of the settings in this gimbal to make this gimbal more smooth than it normally is, because they can be a bit tacky once they come out of the box. And if you want any of my settings, you can go and find them on YouTube, where you can find my channel, and you can find settings for the DJI gimbals and for the Zhiyun gimbals and so on. So that's the first thing you have to do. And the next thing is learn all the things about the gimbal. Learn what the tool can do so that you know what the gimbal is capable of. What kind of camera can you put on there for the motors not to be overheated or overloaded, I would say. So learn the gimbal and learn what you can use it for. And then use the gimbal for those specific gimbal shots. You don't have to shoot on the gimbal at all times. I don't do that, but I shoot a lot on a gimbal. But just remember, it's a tool like any other thing. All right, let me just see where we are. Yes. If we're talking gimbal movements, one of the most difficult things, just one question, are we always on this camera? All right. So one of the most difficult things is to stabilize the Z-axis. That's yourself, this up and down movement. And the up and down movement will come as soon as you start walking. And that's the swaying, and it will look awful when you shoot. So therefore, some call it the ninja walk. I hate that term, actually. But it's really important that you learn how to use your feet. So Mark, if you can see my feet one more time. The important is that you use the whole foot, so you roll off the foot instead of just putting your foot down. So roll on your feet slowly, and then you can move forward. Yeah, let's go up again. And the next thing is keep upright. I see so many creators, and it hurts my heart when I see it, is that when they film like this. So they walk very slowly like this, and you can do that for a short amount of time. But if you're gonna work for a whole day, you need to keep upright and keep your body and your physique strong when you're shooting. So that's why I also have this strap. It's called the gimbal strap. So I can strap the gimbal in, I can rest it. I also use it when I shoot, but I mainly use it when I rest, or I can hang it to the side. But let's get back to the walking. If you want to walk with the gimbal, it's very important to keep upright, and then when you start a couple of so it'll look like this. If I were to film the guys over there, I would start it like this. I'll push my gimbal forward in a push-in. So I'll do it like this. I push forward, and then I walk as slowly as I can, and then I keep the gimbal in motion with my body at the end, so I don't get that hard stop. So that's a simple push-in shot, and one of the first gimbal shots that most people learn. But the tricky thing is that, and as I said before, that is walking with gimbal. And you can actually get a lot of gimbal shots without moving. And when I say without moving, that's without moving your feet. But you can use your body to kind of emphasize that movement instead. So instead of taking steps, you can actually move most of your body. So we'll do the same push-in shot as we did before. I would start it like this. I would go all the way back, and then I will just push forward like this and use my body's movement as far as I can reach. I'm about 180 tall, so I could probably reach about 150, and that's quite a lot on video. Let me just see, there we go. So that's one of the movements that you can do upright. And with this gimbal, I had one specific problem. I could not add a monitor to it, so I had to find a way to do those low shots. And not all gimbals are good inverted, but this one actually works pretty well inverted. So instead of using it like this, because this will actually hurt my wrist if I were to walk like this, and when I do this, the roll motor becomes the pan motor. And if I want to pan, the best way to pan is over the pan motor. So on the Rebel 3, I can actually invert the gimbal. You see this cord here, go. And then now we're working with the pan motor. So instead of walking around like this, hurting my back, I try to keep as upright as possible. And let me just see, I need to see the feet here. Keep the monitor out to the side. I have a side handle on, but you could also just grab it on this knot the Rebel 3 has. So let's try to do the same push-in shot as we did before. We're just doing it low. So the thing I do is that I want to keep the gimbal in motion. So I take the gimbal back, and then I start pushing forward. Let me just see here. It went to the side. Let's put it in lock mode. There we go. Are you ready for it?
Yes. All right. I'm just going to interrupt you a little while, because we need to change your microphone. We've been having some comments about something, so I'll come back to you in a second.
Yes.
I'll just take it over to the other part of the studio. And I'm going to talk about this one. So this is the 5-ray. I did it again. Sorry. This is the 5-ray. It's a tube light. It's the most powerful LED tube light on the market. It's 100 watts. So don't do what I just did with this and turn it around and look straight into it. It's it's 100 watts, and that's pretty cool. It has a built-in radiator and fans because it's so powerful. So they need to have a stable temperature. And this can go from 2700 to 6300 Kelvin. It's a full RGB, and it's really, really powerful. It's 2100 lux, and that's at 30 centimeters. So that's really powerful. It has a CRI of 96, sorry, and a TLCI of 97. When you use this, the fan will go on automatically, and that's I wouldn't know when to fan, but it does that by itself. So it's pretty handy. It has a quarter 20. Now I just did it again. Has a quarter 20 in the bottom, and so you can mount it on a tripod, or you can mount it on attachments and put it anywhere. This is it's a brand new light, and it's Zhiyun making their move from gimbals to other accessories for video and photography, and I think it's pretty cool. It charges on the side here with a USB-C connection. It also has a DC in, so you can power it that way. And I think I just wanted to show you this, since this is a Zhiyun event today, and I've just been told from the control room that I can go back to Peter because we have changed his microphone. So that's pretty cool. So Peter, now we can hear you loud and clearly.
Working now?
Yeah, I think it's working now.
Okay.
So
yeah. So where we dropped off was that I wanted to show how you can use your gimbal inverted if you don't have a back handle on it, which this one doesn't. So
that's actually, when I do gimbal moves, that's one of my favorite moves. I like to, just to, like Brix, who was here, just to do like a follow shot of feet. You have to see people moving, and so please.
Yeah, it's also a nice shot because everything is moving fast. But if you have to walk like this,
a strain on your back and your arm and everything.
Your arm and especially your back will hurt your back.
Yeah.
So try to keep upright. You can also extend it. If you have an extension, just keep that, and then you can just keep the gimbal low to the ground and you can walk forward.
I see many people using a monopod.
Yeah, I
I've
actually
also
have
tried that as well,
one right here.
And you have it really stable. You can support it to your body.
Yeah, but if you can't do that, you can invert the gimbal. Most gimbals can do that. The Weebill 3 does that as well. So once it's inverted, just double tap it so it goes back. And I think we're going to use lock mode for this one so it won't move around. So as I said before, you want to keep the gimbal in motion so you don't get that hard stop or hard start. So hold the handle, if you have a handle, hold around this one, and then try to keep the gimbal in motion. Then you'll get the best shot. Let's just see. Here we go. All right, so is it moving to the side? There we go. So I try to keep upright, and then I just move the gimbal forward. And then I let it go in the end.
Just so you have some material you can cut away.
Because the part that I need is this part. So always step back a couple of steps so I have a transition. So once I get to the part I want, the gimbal is in motion.
Yeah.
And once it's in motion, you won't get those jitters and bumps and stuff like that.
Okay.
All right. Again, let's keep it down low because in the video you can see that I was actually also sitting down. So instead of moving your feet, try to move your body. So, and again, I can actually reach pretty long with this. We'll just put it back to PF mode. So if we just wanted to imitate a slider shot, I can just move forward like this as long as I can reach. And if I want to do it even better, I can use this strap because then I get a third point of contact. And then the gimbal will be even more stable. So I'll just move to this side instead. There we go. So if we do a slider shot to the side, you can see with that third point of contact, we can get a super steady shot. There we go.
And that strap, it looks familiar. It looks like something from a rifle or something.
It actually is.
Okay.
I was looking for something to carry the gimbal, which wasn't an easy rig or some of those bigger things. And as you said, we use this in the military. So it's actually a rifle strap. It's just 2-point sling strap. So it attaches there. And then you have these small knots where you can just attach this one. And they're pretty strong.
And that gives you the third point of contact.
This gives me the third point of contact. Yeah. And it also gives me a resting point. So if I'm not working and I'm just resting, I can rest the gimbal and just hangs off my body. It actually works very well. Yes, so that's the gimbal strap. If you're interested, you can find it in any gun store or online anywhere.
Okay, cool.
Yes, that is the inverted gimbal and the slider shot. And then often I get asked about IBIS on the gimbal, because most cameras today has some kind of in-body stabilization. And I normally tell people to turn off the IBIS because it can interfere with the gimbal. But sometimes...
And sorry for interrupting. How do you see that? How do you see that it interferes?
You can see if you do a lot of movement with the gimbal, the IBIS is made so that it stabilizes the shot. So if you do a lot of movement with the gimbal, the camera will try to stabilize that shot, or it can kind of get tacky in the picture.
Is it micro jitters or something?
No, it's not micro jitters. It likes the picture jumps.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's really bad.
Yeah, okay.
So, but if you're walking on gravel or something, try it out. It could take some of those micro jitters if you're doing just a normal push-in shot where you don't have any side movement, but where you only have like your movement front and back, actually. Then it can take out some of those micro shakes from your feet if you use an IBIS. Yeah. So test it out and see what works best with your setup. Depends on what camera and what lenses you're using.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's kind of the things I had on the program. So if you got any other questions, just fire ahead.
I actually have a few questions. So your Gimbal Academy.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to get where you are today, to be able to make a Gimbal Academy? I mean, you must have worked with this a long time.
I've been working with cameras since I was small. Okay. But I actually started working with something called a glide cam. And the glide cam is the non-motorized or the manual version of a gimbal. And from there, when gimbals kind of got popular a couple of years back, I saw a need for a learning curve. And with my knowledge with the glide cam, I saw an easy way in on these gimbals. Okay. And there were so many questions once I started making videos about these gimbals that I could see there was a need for something more. So therefore I created the Gimbal Academy. Okay.
And what could I learn if I entered your Gimbal Academy? What could I learn?
Yeah, it's all the basic things like settings and how do you set it up, and also a lot of tips of how to use the gimbal, but then also basic gimbal training. How do you walk? How do we position ourselves? And then all the gimbal moves. What gimbal moves can you do with the gimbal to get certain shots? Okay. How do you get low shots? How do you get high shots? How do you imitate a drone if you can't use a drone for an event? All things like that. So it's a 40, I think there's 40 videos in the program. Okay. And I kind of cover a lot, but it's not a huge program. I think you can go through it in like 2 hours if you want to just go through it. But
is it a learn and then go out and try
Yes,
and then go back in and see some more?
I encourage people to kind of see a couple of videos and then go out and practice instead of just seeing all of it, because then it won't do you any good. But the purpose of the academy is to take somebody that isn't used to use a gimbal, and within a very short amount of time, they can actually go out and get usable footage.
Cool. You mentioned the high shot. I think we have a question from the audience.
Yeah.
Could you demonstrate how you would shoot something like from up high?
Yeah.
And maybe that, and also from up high, and then to. Yeah,
of course. I always have this 30 centimeters carbon fiber stick with me. You could also use what you said, a monopod. Yeah. But I try to keep my setup as low as light as possible. If we can get this one off. There we go. I have tried it with quick release plates in between, but then it gets too wobbly.
Yeah.
And I think it's...
So you want a steady point of contact?
Yeah, I just think it's better just use the time to switch it out, so to ensure that it won't...
Also you put that, okay, so you have a...
Yeah, then I can set it down.
Yeah.
It actually serves another purpose. You can actually shoot with this on if you want to. It's much easier to set the gimbal down when you're not using it.
Sure.
And a good thing is that if you want to rest, just put your foot on one of the legs.
Yeah. Doesn't tip over.
Then nobody will tip it over, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
So please demonstrate something like from up high and coming down.
Yes. We can imitate a drone shot.
Yeah.
So let's do that. I see this cable is a bit in the way, but we can do it anyway. All right. So if we weren't allowed to use a drone at an event or something like that, I would just take this stick and I'll point it this one a bit down, and then I'll just move forward, and then I'll just reach as high as I possibly can. Just keep going up, 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 up. There we go. And the last part is a bit shaky.
Could you please do it one more time?
Yeah, there we go.
And that could be, obviously, you could reverse that shot, so you could start up high. And go down.
You can do that. You can also do it in post if there's no people going the other way.
Yeah.
Another good way, I don't have this with me today, but I have a Segway, because that takes out the up and down movement.
Oh yeah.
So it's actually really handy to have some sort of wheels to roll around if you're allowed to use it at the event or what you're shooting.
Yeah.
But let's do it again. And again, I try not to bend too much over.
Yeah, just to ease the strain on your back.
To protect my back. So I try to keep low. And then I just walk in a straight line forward. Here we go. And again, I just want to say one thing. That is, the further out you hold the camera, the more weight you will put on your back, because it's like a pendulum.
And your arms and everything. Actually.
Yeah, but especially on your back, because all that weight from out there will go into your back.
Yeah.
So try to keep it low and keep it close, all right?
And you always start very close, so you can get even more movement.
Yeah, I actually start as close as I can.
Yeah.
And then I actually try to keep it as close to myself, and then I extend it up. All right? So here we go. And there we have all the people in the back. There we go. And then again, you can, of course, do that reversed. But if you're doing it reversed, have someone spotting for you or follow you back.
So you don't fall over.
So you won't trip over something like that, right?
Yeah. I should have stopped you. So, and did you do some behind the scenes?
Nothing else than
shots?
only the things that were in the video. I didn't make a separate video about the behind the scenes because I only had it for 1 day. So that's all we have from that video.
We've been in this situation before, but
Yeah.
I want to thank you. This was awesome. This really makes me. I think this might be my next gimbal. I don't have a gimbal right now, but I'm definitely getting inspired by your moves and stuff.
Yeah, because you can see, just hold it so it won't fall. I won't talk much about the gimbal, but you can see, as I said, mentioned before, that I try to keep my gimbal setup as light as possible, and it doesn't matter what gimbal it is, but you can see that the size difference is massive, and the weight difference is also massive. So running around with something like this will really hurt your back if you're shooting a whole day. So just remember, you don't need this big of a gimbal if you have a small camera only. Yeah, just want to mention that.
Yeah. So, and actually, as I've heard, this one, that's instead of the Weebill 2, but the really popular Weebill S actually continues.
I don't know that much about it, but Henrik told me that this would not be a replacement for the Weebill S, and I know that there's so many people that love the Weebill S, and I myself have used the Weebill S so much, and I still think it's a good gimbal. So if you're thinking that this is a replacement for the Weebill S, I don't think it is. I think there will be a Weebill S2 or Weebill S something at some point.
There will always be something new.
There's always be something new, but this is just another gimbal in their lineup, I think.
But this actually, it does replace the Weebill 2.
Oh, okay,
so
I didn't know that.
That disappears, and this is the new one.
All right.
So, but the S stays in the lineup.
Okay, so hopefully, if you're listening, make an S2 or something like that.
Maybe, there's, like I said, there's always going to be new stuff coming out.
Always new stuff. Yeah.
But thanks a lot, Peter.
Thanks. Yeah.
It's been exciting.
Thank you for having me.
I'm definitely going to jump in and watch some of your reviews and stuff on YouTube.
Yes. Thanks.
So, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, guys, next thing on my agenda is the competition. I know there's been a lot of answers, and we have to draw the lucky guy or girl who wins this Weebill 3. And let me just here. And the winner is Per Lindorf. So Per, we will contact you, and you can look forward to receiving Weebill 3, and that's I think you're going to be happy with it. So congratulations, and if there's no more questions in my ear, the only thing left for me today is to say thank you, Nicolai Brix. You might even still be in the house. Thank you, Peter. It was inspiring. And thanks to Zhiyun for sponsoring this event. And I would also like to thank, I can't show them right now, but I would like to thank the whole crew. I have cranes and cameras and lights everywhere, so this has been a pretty cool production. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks in all 5 countries, 16 channels. It's been an amazing experience being up here. And stay tuned for more content. We'll be back. And thanks for being here. Bye-bye.